Hi everyone, it's Pusky P coming in from Melbourne. It's not every day we get a fantastic Australian guest. Cathy Calson just introduced us to our fantastic guest coming in from Violet Town.
All right. It's my pleasure to introduce JoJo Smith, one of Australia's greatest musical treasures.
That's great.
Good morning. Good morning, good evening. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
It's
You're
morning
welcome.
here and it's 8 p.m. there in the US. Let me tell you, Joe, tell us how you got started in music.
Okay, how I got started in music was my family were musical. So there was a lot of singing, a lot of piano playing in the house and so on. So I grew up with it. And I was very, very interested in it very early in life. You know, music was great. And so I became I got out there and started playing the guitar. And then I joined my first band when I was 14 in Dunedin in New Zealand. And we toured around a bit and, you know, had our chaperones with us and stuff. And I just kept on playing music and joining bands and leaving bands, pardon me. And I came out to Australia in 74 and I bought a bunch of charts with me and I was doing floor shows in little clubs in Brisbane, you know, the ones I'm talking about. And they were fantastic. It was great. And then I joined a band playing drums and singing, and that was called the Ride Band. And we toured for about 5 years and ended up in Melbourne. And I ended up playing and singing, you know, radio and TV commercials, that kind of thing. Had a couple of bands together, and it just kept on going from there and there and there and there. And I moved from Melbourne to Byron Bay in 1986 it was, and I left in 2000. But in the meantime, I'd had a really great funk band up there, and that band was called Hip Pocket, and we played great music. You know, we had horns and backing vocals and everything like that. Then I moved down south here to play with another fellow, and I went into school teaching for 13 and a half years, drums and singing. And here I am now still playing, but this is my recent record, Here's to You. So I'm really, really proud of it. Yeah.
That's fantastic. And I'm just going to ask you, right? I'm just saying, I'm a baby boomer. And
Yeah, me
what
too.
happens is in 1964, I was too young for the Beatles when they came here in
Yeah,
Festival Hall, West Melbourne. But let me tell you, 1967, that was the year for me between the ages of 8 and 9. Batman had just come on the black and white TV, and 2 weeks later, the Monkees started. So the Monkees are my number one group. It doesn't matter where you start, you end up at the Beatles. And I want to ask you, who's
that's
the
right.
biggest who's the biggest influence in the 60s bands that you really, you thought they were it and they influenced you?
I would say Four Tops. I'd say Dionne Warwick, her band. Um, oh, there's just so many, honestly, but just those Diana Ross, the Supremes, you know, right into Motown big time. Stevie Wonder is my all-time favorite. Stevie's my man. He doesn't know it though.
No, but I got to say this to you, not that it matters, right? But I was lucky enough to interview Mary Wilson before she passed away from
Yes,
the Supremes. So I actually did an interview with her and I thought that was fantastic.
that would have been awesome. Yeah, wonderful.
Now let's get
So,
back to your music.
pardon?
Let's get back to your music. You do a lot of backup as well. Tell me who you backed up and sang on their album.
Okay, well, I've worked on Peter Couples albums. I've worked on Olivia Newton-John album when I was up in Byron. Let's see who else I've worked with. Oh gosh, Katie Sobrano.
Yep.
I've been on her CDs. Uh, Doing some work. I toured with Renee Gayer. Bless her heart, she's not with us anymore. And that was awesome. Toured with Marsha Hines and John English.
That's great.
you, that was a great show. It really was. Jokers and Queens, and it was fantastic. We did all that stuff. But lots of little recording things come up. I worked with a lovely man called Dean Haitani, and I worked on his album recently. And I also worked on Ella Hooper's album, who's from Killing Heidi. So that was beautiful. So
I
I'm
got to
still
ask
going.
you, Do you know Louis Sheldon, the session player that played on Last Train to Clarksville, is in Queensland?
No, I don't know.
Okay, he's great. He did Michael Jackson. He did everyone. Sorry. Just look him up, right, Louis Sheldon. He was one of the Wrecking Crew. Yeah. Anyway, Cathy, ask a few questions.
Oh, certainly. Okay. Now, you were painfully shy, it says, when you were 14 and you started music.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was shy. Yeah, I was a shy person. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, you got your first paying gig when you were 14, right? But I want to hear about when you got arrested. That's what I want to hear about in Madrid.
Really? Right. Okay. So I'm in Madrid with a bunch of us. We're in a VW combi van. And I decided I'd go busking. This is way back. This is, I don't know, late 70s. Anyway, I took this guy with me. He was a gay guy, beautiful man. He and I went down the street. We went down into the underground. I got my guitar out and I started playing and singing. And all of a sudden, these police were there with shouting at us with guns, freaking us right out. And they took us to a police station. And then they put us in the back of this van. And I'll tell you what, Cathy, I swear they were going to kill us. I had no idea what was going on. They dropped us off at the prison. Russell had to go into the men's prison, and I went into the women's prison. And I was absolutely petrified. I had no idea what was coming on, and the nuns came to visit me at dinner time. And I thought, oh, shit, they're going to kill me, I'm going to get shot in the morning or something. But anyway, we got out the next day. But it was a hell of a ride.
What did they tell you? What was the reason you were being...
Well, they wouldn't speak to us in English. They wouldn't do that, and they could, but they didn't. I think one time the guy told me to sit down because I was hassling him about getting on the phone and, but yeah. It was
It sounds like you would have PTSD even to today with that scenario. So to be able to sing even the note after that, I give you lots of kudos.
Oh yeah, well, it's a long time ago now. Maybe it wasn't so funny at that time. It was a bit scary, really.
Was that about illegal busking? Is that what it was? You weren't meant to busk?
Yeah. It was known as begging.
Busking? I don't know what busking is.
Busking is singing out in the street and collecting money.
Oh, yeah. We don't use that term. So
okay. Well, we learned something here, and in Australia, I've got to tell you now, because Joe and I have got the same accent. Right, in England, right, they used to have a lot of people use the word pullover, but I'm used to the word jumper. When I grew up in the 60s, we're talking about we're wearing a jumper. Now, if you listen to John Lennon's song, I Am the Walrus, he goes, jumper, stick it up your jumper, right? Like he's using the term that we use, which is the British slang for the word pullover, which is jumper. And most people in the US don't know what a jumper is. There's a lot of words that we use as Australians. Well, that the Australians, the Americans don't even know.
Right, it's true.
But that's a sweater. Where you are is a sweater.
That's right, but I never used the word sweater. I just used the word jumper. In America, I use sweater.
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask you another question? This was mentioned in the Rhythms magazine. It says you're a sexagenarian. Did I say it right? That's what it said. It's been an article for since 2017, so I don't know.
No, maybe.
It says you're a groove driving tour de force with 50 plus years in the business. So right there, you're 50 plus years in the business. So
7 now. Yeah. 57 years now. Yeah.
Wonderful.
And, it's good. It's good. I hate to say it. It's good to be doing it still, I feel very grateful. And just getting this little break with Helmut Wolf Entertainment is so exciting, I waited 57 years for this.
Wow. Well, you were in good hands with Helmut Wolf Entertainment, for sure.
Now, Joe, I've got to ask you, Joe, about your new music. Just go through some of these new songs and where they can find it.
Okay, well, you can find it on Spotify. The album's called Here's to You. There's only one cover on that CD, and that's Neil Young's Harvest Moon. And all the rest are tracks that other people have written. Here's to You is the title track. There's just a whole bunch of songs. I could read them out.
Yeah, please read them out for everyone.
Okay, well, A Smooth Ride, which was written by Aaron West. There's a song called Pick It Up on there by Calson. We've got another one called Sneaking Out the Back Door, written by Kerry Buchanan and Rick Fenn from the band, what's it called? 10cc. Yeah, so that's really nice. Here's to You is, there's Harvest Moon by Neil Young. Then there's Here's to You by Laura Nobel. Chinese Whispers with Greg Lyon and Rick Fenn again. It's a Jungle Out There, written by a guy called David Bentley. Nothing Stronger Than the Sun, written by Carl Panuzzo. Until We Meet Again, Paul Cheeseman and Rick Fenn. The Sun's Gonna Shine Again, written by Greg Lyon and myself. So that's the tracks on there, but you'll get them all up there on Deezer and Spotify and those platforms that I'm really grateful for Helmet for.
That's great. Now, I want to ask you, which do you think is the A-side song, the number one song off the album that you like, or the feedback that you got back from everyone?
I reckon Sneaking Out the Back Door might be one.
Good. Give us another one.
Yep, I will. Until We Meet Again, Chinese Whispers. It's a good tune. I love Harvest Moon. You know, I love Neil Young. So yeah, I'm really proud of the album. I'm very proud of the CD.
That's amazing. And as I said, giving it out there to the world, that's what it's all about. And we as Australians, we love doing what we do. And I'm sort of in the same boat, right? Yeah. I got my music out there as well. And just being out there, you must love going in the studio and recording.
I love it. It's great. It's like going home. It's a really nice place to be, actually. Everybody in there working together and, you know, making the music, getting the sounds right. Yeah.
Excellent. Cathy.
Okay. Well, I read that you were the first woman ever to be on the Byron Bay Blues Festival to perform there. Now, wow, why did they not? Why were you the first? I mean, I know you're amazing talent, but why the restriction, you think?
No, I just think it's the way the wheels turn for the festival. I was in a band up in the North Coast near Byron called Hip Pocket, and it was really popular. And I think that's how we got our ticket into that first festival to play with, let's see who was on, Clarence Gatemouth Brown, you know, lots of people. And there we were playing at the Blues Fest, yeah.
Wow, excellent that you were the first woman ever. That's quite the accomplishment. And can you tell me a little bit about your tour upcoming? It says you're going to go to dozens of venues with Lucy Thornton and Hamish.
That happened. That's already happened.
Oh, it's already happened. Okay.
Yeah, that's already happened. That's a little bit old now, but I've got a couple of festivals coming up over here that I'm playing at in, you know, in a few weeks' time, actually. And then I'm heading up north to Byron Bay to launch the CD with my band. So that'll be nice.
Oh, very good.
And that's a great spot there. There's a lot of Australians that just live there now, a lot of famous people in Byron Bay. I've never been there, to tell you the truth, but that may be a place that I'll visit. But here down in Melbourne, as I said, there's lots of places here like Hillsville, Bendigo, and so many great places down here too.
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Now, what else would you like to tell your fans, Joe? Just use this as an open platform and tell them anything you like.
Yeah, mate, I'd like to see world peace. And I'm not kidding. I'd like to see the world come to a place where we know war is just a great big have. It's a tragedy, it's an atrocity, and it's a crime in itself. That's my main message to anyone listening. Nothing to do with music, just that we need peace.
Sure.
And through music, maybe we can bring a little bit, you know. But boy, we've got to start to wake up.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Yeah.
But as I said, now, the way 2023 is shaping up, we're all here trying to do what we can and make people happy and make them think on the positive side. We've gone through COVID, right? We don't want to go through that again. That's when I started doing interviews in March 2020 and haven't stopped for the last 3.5 years. And I've interviewed over 1,000 shows. And it had nothing to do with money. I devoted my life to it day and night. As you know, Cathy, right? I didn't stop.
Right.
And now we're over 1,000. And as I said, just an email I get saying, thank you, you made my day happy. It's good enough for me, because so many people out there that need to be entertained, whether that's through interviews, whether that's through music, whether that's through documentaries, whether that's through movies. You know, you don't have to watch TV. You can switch it off and find something else to do, or play a CD or a record or whatever you like. And just make yourself happy. That's the biggest message I can give people today. Try and make yourself happy and try and live a quality of life that you want to live, that's not basically influenced by everybody. Me, I turn the TV off. I'm in my own zone and I just love it. You know, I just want to wake up every day, do whatever I can, whether it be one interview a day, 2 interviews a day, or whatever's going. I just try and please myself. And we all go ahead as we can. And as I said, we just want the world to keep turning, and mankind and the human race has gone on forever. So let's just continue. You agree with that, Joe?
I agree with you. Yep. Continue in the best spirit possible. But hey, great to talk to you guys. Great to have this little interview. Thank you.
We can't thank you enough, Joe, for coming on. As I said, Australians are there at the forefront always, whether that be music, sport, or whatever's going. That's what I love about it. It's this Australian get up and go. And as I said, we're not in competition with anyone. We're just basically Australians doing what we do. That's what I find. I'm in competition with myself. I'm not in competition with anybody. That's what's the most amazing thing.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah. Well, everyone is going to have to listen to the new CD, because JoJo's been described as a distinctive, gravelly, gritty voice with a natural blues fit. So if you love blues music, you'll love JoJo Smith.
Yeah, well, that's a thing about taste, isn't it? And what people like, and yeah, not everyone can like it, but it's certainly got a blues feel about it, you know. Yeah.
Go out and buy the CD, go out and buy the songs, go there on Spotify and all the music platforms. We can't thank you again, JoJo, for being on. You are fantastic and we love you.
Thank you. Good on you.
All right. Cheerio. Thank you.
Thank you.